Hi all, Cynthia here, back doing another 8.5 by 11 layout. If you've been following along, you know that I'm currently working on my granddaughter's Christmas album. So every year I do an album for each of my granddaughters. Generally I do an album each, but this year I'm going to combine the albums. And generally I leave it to December before I start both of their albums. And I also do another little mini album for my stepdaughter as well. So December is generally very hectic for me and stressful times to make sure I get everything out in time. But when I received this kit, I thought, yep, it's very girly, very whimsical. I'm going to start the girls' album now. So yay for me for being ahead of schedule. Let's hope I can get it finished well in time. Anyway, so I have the photo here and I just want to use this purple paper that has the print, the daisies on it. I just think it goes well with the feel of this photo and I just really like it. And I've pulled out the stamp. You saw me stamp there at the beginning. They're meant to be feathers, but I'm using them more as a leaf. As you can see, my granddaughter there's got some gum leaves as a necklace around her neck. So I'm just going to play off that a little bit. So I've cut this paper down and what am I doing here? It's been a little while. I've decided that I want another strip. I think one strip behind the photo is not quite enough. So I've cut this wider strip down, which I'll put down. And then I'm thinking about laying that green polka dot. I think it's got little hearts on it if I remember correctly. Yes, it does. And after I've glued it down and I'm taking all the photos or somewhere along the line, I realised that I've put it on with the hearts upside down. It wasn't going to come back up. It must have been, I noticed it throughout the process because I did try to pull it up and it's not coming up. So it's going to have upside down hearts, but that's okay. I'll go with the flow. Want to bring in a more of a what's the word, what am I looking for, natural tone element to it. So I grab out this wood grain paper and cut a small strip of that off. Decided that I liked the torn edges, so I'm going to grab this green one and tear the edges to that too, and then I'm going to stick it down upside down, but we're just moving on from that. And then I'm going to put this wood grain piece down. I think there you go. That's where I realised I've got it upside down and it's not going to move. So I keep going. I want to play off the necklace that she has around her neck and create something hanging down from the top of the page. So I pulled out this natural fibre here as well and going to lay a little strip just down here to add some more of that texture over there. Going to use the stapler here to staple that down, and I'm also going to use the same string to make a sort of like a necklace pendant hanging down from the top of the page. Put that back down. First off, I'm just going to back this photo. So I've been using up some leftover chipboard pieces to back some stuff with of lately. I pulled all my chipboard off the actual boards or the sheets and have put them into a container because I was not using them, as I had some big 12 by 12 sheets and some smaller 6 by 12 and then some smaller ones again, and they were sort of all in different places. So I thought, right, what's going to make me use them more? So I went through and I popped them all off the background, took the stickiness off them one way or another and put them into a container. So now when I want a piece of chipboard, I just pick it up and I just flip through it until I find what I'm looking for. So I have all the negative spaces that I'm using to mat or to back up some of my elements on the page. So I added some twine to around the top of the leaves there, and now I'm going to add another piece to hang down from the top, and I'm going to use my stapler to staple those in place as well. so I can get it working right. Liking the way that's coming together, and then I just glue that down to hang so it looks like it's hanging there. My trusty hot glue gun. Now, am I the only one? Does anyone listen to the Scrap Girls? I'm sure there's plenty of yous that do, and the recent podcast about adhesives. They did not mention the hot glue gun, and I know there's a few of us out there that use that, so if you use your hot glue gun, let me know. I think it's a trusty machine. I don't use it directly on photos, but I quite often use it on elements, and sometimes not only do I use it to stick and adhere things to the page, but I quite often use it to help add some dimension to something. So I might be putting something down, and instead of pressing the glue down nice and hard and flat, I might only just touch it to the page, so it still has that little bit of height, but it's gluing at the same time. But yes, let me know whether you use the hot glue gun. Tell me I'm not the only one. Well, I know I'm not the only one. I see other people using it as well. But so I have that down. I'm liking the way it's starting to look, but I'm feeling like it needs something, and I couldn't decide what. I wanted to bring in this doily here, and I knew I want to use some of this green, the green words, the glitter alphas stickers that come with the kit. Wasn't too sure which one. I was trying to think of a few different ones, but couldn't make anything else work. So I just stick with happy for a little while. Lay another one of those leaves underneath it. Just fiddling around to see what I can make work. I like the doily, but it wasn't just looking quite right. Definitely want to use the happy. Want to bring in a little bit more of that string element, so I tie a little bow here on the bottom of the Y, just to repeat that element down there as well, and I just shuffle it around so it sort of comes up the Y a little bit more, and I like that. I just decided that I'm pretty sure that's the placement it's going to go. Want to bring in a couple more of these leaves, and I want to ground that happy somehow. So I toss around, I try a few different elements, seeing how I can make it work. I stick the happy down, but you see I do pull it up a little bit here, coming down the track a little bit further. Once I continue on with the design, I bring that doily back in and make that work. At the moment, it's going down there. What else? Still trying to fiddle around with these leaves. Want to put something else down there. I think it's just looking a bit plain. Back with the doily, back with the leaves. And I kind of put that there, and that's where I'm starting to feel like, I'm starting to like the look of this. And I'm liking the way that is connecting both sides of the page, making it all flow as one big element nearly. And then I grabbed this wood veneer out of my kit, and it says Daydreamer, and I decided, that could be my title, Happy Daydreamer. So I'm trying to see where I can make that work, and I decided I'm pretty sure I had to put it there exactly where it is. I pop it up with some little pop dots on top of the Y, and now I just build a little cluster over here. I'm liking the way that looks, so I pull it all off and start to glue it down in a moment, and I think that pretty much comes to the end of it. I do leave that other piece up the top, the piece of wood veneer up the top. Can't quite remember what that one says, and I don't have the layout in front of me, so I'm sure you can see what it says. Popping that camera down, it's got that purple in it that's in that background paper, and putting these two leaves down. I didn't quite put them down the same way. I want to bring them up to touch that camera because I feel like I need to close that gap up there. But I actually liked it how I had it before I stuck it down, with a little bit of a gap. I don't think the gap would have bothered me, but at the time when I was sticking it down, I thought, oh no, there's a trapped space there that I must cover up. So I went and did that. Now what am I doing? I'm going to tuck that bit of string underneath the wood veneer, put a dab of glue on top of that knot so it doesn't come undone. That glue will dry clear. I'm not too sure, you don't see that in the photos, it still has a little bit of colour to it, but as it dries it will get clearer. And that is pretty much coming to the end of the layout. I think, do I pull a couple of sequins out? Maybe. And that is all. There are, oh, that's what I put on. I knew I put something on. I put some of these green star, glittery stars around the page. Now, as I was about to say, there are some close-up photos at the end, so stay tuned for those. As always, thank you very much for sticking with me this far. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to grow my subscribers. And thank you very much for watching. Until next time, everyone, have a lovely day, a lovely week, or a lovely month, and I will talk to you on the next video. Until then, bye.